I sat down and rewatched all 3 seasons of The Bear to see what changed. I even counted the screen time of the facts
6 years
to check if the criticism about them stands. Season 3 is not terrible by any means, but instead of reviewing the last season, let me show you what changed and why some people might feel disappointed. The first season's themes were engaging because the restaurant was at an all-time low. The contrast of Carmy being a skilled and famous chef in a dysfunctional place was an exciting premise, and the characters all had an interesting arc throughout the season. A good example is Sid, who had to earn the trust of Tina and become part of the Beef family.
Sure. Great.
But Marcus's donut storyline was also captivating, because we saw his progress and enthusiasm. Season 1 ended on a high note. The reveal of the new name and promise of an exciting new start was more than enough to keep watching. Season 2 changed it up a bit. The restaurant was being rebuilt, but this gave a chance to the creators to give more time to all the characters. Progress is still a keyword. We saw Marcus go to Denmark, Richie go to Ever, and change his whole character in 5 days.
Yeah, I wear suits now.
And Tina become more confident and excited about cooking. We also saw Sid and Carmy's partnership evolve and devolve into something new. Let's look at some major points that make Season 3 feel different or less enjoyable. I think it's very clear that the facts take up too much screen time. The show always had funny moments, and many of them without the facts. But each season, new fact family members are introduced, and balancing this with the growing cast is becoming problematic. In Season 1, Neil is the only fact we see. He's there from the pilot, and he appears in 26 episodes in total, out of the 28. Ted is introduced in Season 2, Episode 6, Fishes, and in total, he's in 12 episodes until the end of Season 3. Their screen time in Season 3 is 34 minutes, which is a whole episode worth out of the total 345 minutes of the season. Which means they are on screen for about 10% of all episodes. But in contrast to other characters who have their own episodes and backstories, they never got any development.
See, that's where you're wrong. No, I'm not.
They were mostly just there to be the comic relief. Most of their dialogue consists of jokes, and Season 3 introduced a new running gag, haunting.
What is haunting?
Which was used in almost all of the episodes after its introduction in Episode 5, Children. While haunting as a concept can be applied to the struggles of the characters, especially Carmy, who is haunted by his past and the painful breakup with Claire, the joke is not clear from the start, and bringing it back so many times might alienate viewers who didn't find it funny or look at it as a metaphor for the theme of the season.
She's right. You're alright. Okay.
Yeah, we'll stay.
Carmy's character changed a lot since the start of the show. In Season 2, the writer started to show more and more of his flaws, and the storyline between him and Sid put the character in a very bad light. Throughout Season 2, it still wasn't clear if he's just distracted by Claire or if he's a bad partner to Sid. The end of Season 2 set up 2 things that had to be followed up. One is how he dealt with the Claire situation, and the other one is, can he appreciate Sid more and make a strong partnership? Season 3, however, didn't give us an answer to either of these. While it's true that Sid's trust in him and his behavior is worse than ever, if it wasn't for the Adam Shapiro job offer, we wouldn't really have any progress on this front. Sid never confronted Carmy in this season, and Carmy's intentions and feelings were not clear either.
I don't want it to be so hard to keep up with me.
Got it. Great.
Carmy's relationship with Claire and Richie remained stagnant as we had left him in Season 2. He didn't show meaningful growth as a friend, boyfriend, boss or person. Focusing heavily on these unresolved dynamics, especially with Claire, risks alienating the audience. This is disappointing because the season started strong, with Episode 1 showcasing his prior progress and the finale highlighting his confrontation with Chef Winger. Moments like Marcus affirming his trust in Carmy despite the tension shows his potential.
This place has got to work. And I need you to do something for me. Take us there, Bear.
But these glimpses of growth were too rare this season. But why was it like this? Where was Carmy and where was the bear? Even though Season 2 built up the opening of the new restaurant, we barely saw it this season. It's understandable that rushing to success, like getting a Michelin star, would be premature. So the tension mainly came from the restaurant's financial struggles, the threat of closing, and the toxic workplace fueled by Carmy's behavior and his fractured friendship with Richie. Aside from the early episodes showing the stressful environment, Carmy's ever-changing menu and non-negotiables, the restaurant was largely absent. Episode 1 focused on Carmy's past. Episode 2 explored the bold new direction only Carmy believed in. Episode 3 highlighted the restaurant's dysfunction. Episode 4 took place mostly outside the restaurant. Episode 5 centered around the facts. 6 was a flashback for Tina. Episode 7, much like episode 4, focused on the characters, with the bear merely serving as a backdrop. Episode 8 was set in the hospital. Episode 9's first half was about the restaurant and the threat of closure, but then shifted in the second half to character moments outside the restaurant, like the facts visiting Claire in the hospital. And finally, episode 10 was set entirely in Ever. So aside from episodes 2 and 3, most of the season wasn't about the restaurant or service. It was about building character moments. This isn't inherently an issue, but when some viewers say they felt the season didn't move forward, the lack of focus on the bear, the menu, or the chefs improving their skills is a major factor that prior seasons had, but season 3 missed. And here's a very important thing we need to understand. Season 1 and 2, despite all the crazy and tragic situations, were still triumphant. We felt good during the finale of season 1 because Mikey solved their financial issues and gave them a chance at a fresh start. And in season 2 the characters solved a big challenge set up at the start, which was the impossible deadline of the opening. The story taking a dark turn at the end of season 2 signaled that season 3 has to be a valley. The challenges the characters face will sometimes be insurmountable, there have to be times when they fail, when they can't solve their differences, and despite all their success so far, they have to be down.
This job's insane. You know, it can go from chill to unchill in a second, but you gotta stay ahead on your work. That's just that.
Heard.
This obviously serves the rest of the story, where they will rise again and it will be satisfying to watch. The question is, without any peaks and only valleys, can this season stand? Without any resolution to any of the struggles, only more doubts and chaos, is it ever satisfying? The lack of progress in season 3 is noticeable, not just with Carmy but across the board. The absence of the bear as a central focus is a clear sign. Much of the show stayed in the same place. Outside of highly rated flashback episodes like Fishes and Napkins, the most beloved episodes from previous seasons were rooted in the kitchen, with staff honing their skills and navigating tense dinner services. There was progress. Carmy showcasing his talent, Sid collaborating on the menu, Marcus' passion for improvement, Richie's quick but impactful shift in forks,
Fuck me.
and the intense one-take episode in season 1 that immersed viewers in the chaos of the beef. In each case, creative filmmaking and editing truly supported the story. In contrast, season 3 often felt like it was experimenting for the sake of it.
Well, I subtracted and I pushed.
While unique ideas can be exciting, they sometimes break the suspension of disbelief. For instance, Richie's transformation at Ever was a bit sudden, but it was satisfying because it served the story. But this season included montages of real-life Chicago businesses, real chefs talking for a long time about their love for cooking in the finale, repetitive flashbacks, and nods to early cinema that, while interesting, felt disconnected from the main narrative. Unlike the montages in earlier seasons, such as Sid's process of creating a new dish, these moments didn't feel as integrated into the story.
Sid, we're gonna get a star.
I think even those who are disappointed with season 3 can agree that The Bear is still one of the best, if not the best shows currently running. This is why viewers have a higher standard for the show, because it raised the bar with its first 2 seasons. I'm sure the writers see seasons 3 and 4 as a cohesive unit, much like how seasons 1 and 2 stood on their own, taking us from a chaotic sandwich shop to the opening of a fine dining restaurant. This new pair of seasons will likely take us from another dysfunctional restaurant to a well-oiled Michelin star establishment. The issue is that while season 1 had its own complete arc with peaks, valleys, and a strong setup for future seasons, season 3 lacks those qualities and doesn't provide a clear direction for the show. The future of The Bear holds many possibilities. Season 4 could even take an unexpected turn, like Sid and Carmy becoming rivals with their own restaurants. Whatever direction it takes, the next season will decide a lot for the future of the show.
What would you tell yourself? You know, when you were where I am. I know.
Hopefully when season 4 comes out, it will shed light on season 3's role and allow us to appreciate it more. I'm confident the creators will deliver in the end, but for now, we have to wait and see what they are cooking up.